All right, y'all. So take about another minute and get yourselves settled here. Hopefully, we have everybody back with us. All right, y'all. It is 9:52, so welcome back. I hope that I still have everybody with me. So if you can give me a thumbs up in the chat real quick, so I know, just so that I know that everybody is still here. I would appreciate that. So yes, Maya, Tyseem, Darian, if you guys can just give me a thumbs up in the chat so that I know I still have you guys with me before I start going over um, our activity for today. All right, yes, Maya is here. Sup to you as well. Thank you. All right. So again, Darian and
Yo,
Tyseem. All right, we got him. Good, good. I'm glad 2K has not stolen you away from us yet this morning.
uh, the whole time playing 2K, but I'm saying,
Well, either way. All right. So then, ladies and gents, here's what we're gonna do today. All right. Um, Now we are kind of starting a little bit later this morning. Since it took a little bit for some people to get logged on, which is fine. So rather than go over or rather than do our do now, we'll just kind of jump right into the activity that we're gonna do. So if you were here on Tuesday for class, you might remember we talked about these things called vignettes. All right, and I'll put that word in the chat. All right, vignettes. It's spelled a little weird, right? But what vignettes are like little moments in a story, like little narrative descriptions. Maybe it is a flashback or a memory or a short, like descriptive scene that, when taken by themselves, they don't really work as a whole story because it's just one moment. There's no beginning, middle, and end. But when we put them together with the rest of a story, they help paint the whole picture. They give us more detail about a character, maybe more background, more description about a certain place or thing. All right. And we watched a couple examples. The best one was like the beginning of the movie Up from Pixar. And if you weren't here Tuesday, if you've ever seen that movie, then you know at the beginning there's all those little memories of Carl and Ellie, right? Like they are getting married and they're laying under the tree looking at the clouds, and then they're fixing up their house, and they're working at the zoo and all those things. So each one of those by itself, if we just had one of those and then nothing else, there's not a whole story there. But when we put them all together, it helps to give us detail as to why Carl is such a grumpy old man when the movie begins, right? Because he was very close with his wife, and then she got sick and passed away. So all of those little individual things are called vignettes, and we see them in movies and stories a lot of the time as well. Like Titanic uses them. The House on Mango Street, if you've ever read that book, all those little kind of different images. I was just watching a movie last night called Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio. It uses vignettes in there because it uses like flashbacks and stuff, right? So they're a really good way to tell a story without having to be linear, meaning like I start at the beginning and then I go to the end. If you use vignettes and stuff, you can maybe start at the end and then flash back to the beginning and then go to the middle and kind of look at the past and present and future, all one way. And that's what the author does in the book that we've been working with, Homegoing. And that's what y'all are going to do when you create your own short narratives, short stories for our final product. Okay. So, a good way to get started with that is what we're going to look at in Summit today that I'd like all of you to have done over the weekend. Okay. Now, for the progress report, I will be checking the first section of checkpoint one. So those reading notes. So the section labeled EFIA, I'll be looking at the notes, the point of view purpose, and the quotes boxes. So if you have all those three things filled out, then you'll be good to go on the checkpoint. If you missed how to do those, you can go back and watch the older classes on YouTube, like before break, or you can come see me in the Summit Lab. Okay, I will be there today. But for this activity that we're going to be looking at here, that I would like you guys to have done for, excuse me, for next class on Tuesday, you will find it on Summit. So under our class creative writing and our project homegoing, you should see checkpoint 2 says narrative outline. It says 3 on mine, but on yours it should say 2. All right. Checkpoint 2 narrative outline. So you can click there and it'll look like this. And then if you scroll down, the very first link you'll see here is brainstorming prompts activity. And then if you click that, it will look like this. All right. And I'll put that in the chat as well. All right. So if you are not at your laptop right now, you're on your phone and you want to take some screenshots, you can go back to it later. You have the information you need. All right, so that is in the chat right now. Okay. Now, like I said, when you click that, it should look like this, and you can see up here in the directions. Come up with some ideas on what to write about for your personal narrative. That's going to be our final product. Like you can see it says down here, past, present, future narrative, right? The only wrong answer is a blank page. Also, you do not need to write or think about these in order. Go in whatever order works for you. Also, feel free to leave blank. To leave boxes blank if nothing comes up for you. So the point here is to answer the prompts in each one of these boxes to help you build some information about stuff from your past, stuff from your present, stuff from your future, so that you can use all those things when you write your narrative, because we're going to craft our stories kind of like homegoing. Like we're going to tell a story by flashing back to our past, by talking about what's going on in the present, and then flashing forward to our future. So this will help us come up with some ideas and details for each of those three things. And again, like it said in here, if you don't want to start with the past one, you can go like say, okay, I'm going to start with the present one because that's stuff that's happening right now. All right. Or maybe I'll start with the future and then work my way backwards. However you want to do it. And you can fill these out in complete sentences. You can do them in bullet points, whatever works for you. I like to use bullet points in mine. So if I were filling this out as an example, right, and if you have this pulled up, you can, start to fill yours out with me too if you want. All right. Hey, Ashley, good morning. Welcome. We are looking on Summit under checkpoint 2, narrative outline, under our project homegoing. And we're looking at this activity right here, brainstorming prompts activity. It should be the first link under resources in checkpoint 2. Okay, mine says 3, but yours will say 2. And then it looks like this. And what we're doing here is just filling out these prompts to help us build some background info about our past, present, and future so that we can use that when we write our narratives for the final product. Okay. So if I were filling mine out, for example, while some people still get this pulled up if they are doing so, the first box says, where do you come from? This can be country, city, religion, nationality, whatever this question means to you, right? So if I was filling mine out, again, I said I like to use bullet points. So I would say, maybe I would list my ethnic heritage. I could say Italian, Irish, Pennsylvania Dutch. And then maybe I could say I'm from Pennsylvania. Then I could list the towns where I grew up. So I could say Coopersburg, Bethlehem. I could say Philly, but maybe I'll leave that for the present boxes because that's where I'm currently living. Right? I'd say Lehigh Valley because that's kind of the region of Pennsylvania that I'm from. Maybe I could say, um, agnostic would be like the closest thing I could think of to my religion right now. And then if I want to jot anything else down, maybe I could do that. And now, so okay, now I have the first box done, and now I just keep going here. So who are your relatives from the past? This can be grandparents, grandparents, great grandparents, extended family. So this is where if you did that family tree activity from earlier in the term, this is where this might come in. So you can kind of list some of those. So this is where I would list, you know, uh, mom and dad, right? And then I could list my grandparents. Then I could put their names, Margaret, Russ, Harry, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I could keep going like that. Right. And then I fill out the rest of these boxes based on the prompts they're answering. And once I have all these filled out, we should have good enough background to start working on this checkpoint, which is our narrative outline. Okay. And that's what we're going to be trying to tackle next week. So, ladies and gents, this is what I'll be looking um, for you to have done when we come to class next Tuesday. Again, in terms of the progress report, you should already have submitted to me, to be all caught up with everything. I should see your family tree. I should see you've done those Nearpod questions, and I should see that you have completed the first section of checkpoint one, which is these reading notes, right? So the section for EFIA, right, down here. And I'm looking at these first three boxes. So all the pink boxes. Don't worry about this purple one. Okay. And if you are doing this and you need the PDF link for the book, please let me know. I also, actually, I can probably, no, if I do that, you guys will have to get reassigned. So yeah, just let me know if you want the PDF version for the book. You can shoot me an email. I'll also put it in the chat right now, just so you have it as you're working on this stuff now and over the weekend. Okay. So we got about 20 minutes left for today. I'm going to give you that time to get started on the brainstorming activity. And then again, if you finish that, make sure you're all caught up with everything else you should have done for the progress report. And don't forget to come see me in the Summit Lab this afternoon if you still have questions, or if you are trying to get caught up on stuff, which kind of goes to your point, Ashley, about office hours. Yes, I will be there today. I will also be there on Monday. Darian, if you're talking about the class code for Summit, let me check my list right here quick. Yeah, Darian, you're already registered for this class on Summit for creative writing. So if you need a code for something else, I don't know what that would be off the top of my head right now, but I know at least for this class, I have you on my list on Summit, so you shouldn't need to put the code in again. So if you just log in to Summit with your Yes Philly email and password, then you should be good. If you're having a password issue or like you can't access Summit in general, then that would be a question for Miss C. Okay. Oh, you says you got it. Good. All right. Cool. Good to know that turned around. All right. So again, ladies and gents, what should we be working on? The brainstorming prompts activity on Summit. It's under checkpoint 2, which you should all have assigned. And I'll be looking for that at the start of class Tuesday. So not at the end of class Tuesday, like we'll have time to work on it. Like you should have it done over the weekend so that when we come back on Tuesday, we're ready to go. Okay. So again, I will give you guys about the next 15, 17 minutes or so to get started on this. Let me know if you have questions. I'll be jumping around to people's different summits to see how you're doing with this. And then we'll wrap it up here before we go. Okay. Thank you guys. Good job. Questions about anything before I mute myself for a little bit here? Questions about anything else? Or any issues finding it on Summit, anything like that? No? All right, cool. Good job. I will check back in a few. Hey, Ambria, good morning. Good to see you. Hope you had a nice break. I know you don't join us often, but I'm always glad when you do. All right. So, Ambria, we are working on, let me share my screen here. So, we're working on checkpoint 2. It says 3 on mine, but it'll be checkpoint 2 on Summit narrative outline. And then we're looking at the first activity right here under resources, brainstorming prompts. And then it should look like this, okay? And you're just kind of filling out these boxes with the answers to the prompts over here on the left-hand side. You can do it in bullet points, you can do it in complete sentences. However you want to fill these out, but you're filling these out to give us some ideas, some background to use for the outline that we're going to fill out for the story that we're going to write for our final product here. Okay. So that's what we're going to write now. So you can get started on that. And if you have questions about the other stuff you've missed or need to get caught up with, I will be in the Summit Lab today from 1 to 3, which remember, it's the same link as this class. And there's also some YouTube videos on the Yes Philly YouTube. So I would start with maybe the ones before break. So if you're looking at the dates for the class, go back to the ones like the week of like the 16th, 17th of December, stuff like that. Those will probably be the best ones to start with if you're trying to watch those to get caught up too. All right. Thank you for joining us. How's everybody else doing? Questions about anything so far? No? All right, cool. If I don't hear anything, I'm going to assume we're good. So keep up the good work, ladies and gents. Thank you. I'll keep up the good work. About another 5 minutes, and then we'll excuse me. Then we'll wrap things up here, and make sure everybody is good to go. Okay. All right, y'all. Just doing a quick check of how some of us are doing here with this. Seeing if any of us have got started. Remember that I'm looking for this to be done by the time we start class on Tuesday. So you got the weekend to cover this. And if you have questions, I will be available via email. I'll be in the Summit Lab until about 3. Hey, Kira, a few minutes yet left in first period. All right. So let me know if you have any questions or anything like that as you're working. Excuse me, as you're working through this. If you are having any summit issues, please let me know. Um, yes, Maya, I don't see you on my list, so if you still need to register for Summit, I will send you the code via email after we're done here today, so that you have it. Darian, I see you started yours a little bit already. Good job. Oh, you know what? Actually, it might be right here. That's Miguel. Okay. All right, y'all. So again, reminders that should have that brainstorming prompts activity done by next class on Tuesday. Progress reports coming out next week. So I should have everything by, excuse me, by beginning of the day on Monday. That includes um, the first section of checkpoint one, those reading notes for EFIA. Okay. If you're looking for the activity, Ashley, you want to click on checkpoint two, which is narrative outline. Then if you scroll down under like activities resources, you should see the first one says brainstorming prompts activity, and that's the one you want to click on. Okay. If you're still having trouble finding it, let me know and I can send you some screenshots, or you can come see me in the Summit Lab later today. All right. Were you able to find it? All right, cool. Awesome. All right, ladies and gents. So that's where we'll wrap it up today. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Um, I hope that you can all stay as optimistic as possible in light of the circumstances of this week. Um, and know that myself and all your other teachers and staff in Yes Philly are here for you for whatever you need, whether it's to talk about something, to help you with school, um, but we are all doing our best to, make sure we are working hard towards, brighter days ahead. Okay. So if you have questions, let me know via email or come see me in the Summit Lab. And brainstorming prompts activity should be done for Tuesday. Okay. Questions about anything before we go? All right, y'all. Then, if you have nothing else for me, you are good to go. Have a good weekend. I'm going to go ahead and end the chat. I'm jump into the second period, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Good job today.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
Hey, Jess.